Greetings, everybody. Hook me up when you're ready for your spiritual needs and your spiritual supplies. Sit there and wait for God to fix it for you when you can fix it for yourself. That is all on you. Listen, I'm going to talk about some things in this video and I'm going to rub somebody the wrong way, but it has to be said. And today, ladies, I'm not going to babysit you and I'm not going to be putting powder in your soft spots. I'm going to give it to you real. Because some of us as women, we make very poor choices in life. And after we make these choices, we cry about it. And though we always need support from other women, there comes a time when you just have to get up and just dust yourself off and stop feeling sorry for yourself, because we've all been there. As women, we know what it's like to get our heart broken or to make a choice to get involved with a man that is not right. And sometimes we try to stick it out. We try to work it out for the children's sake. And also, if you're the kind of woman who don't want to be from one man to the next, I get it. But there still comes a time when you have to love yourself enough, value yourself enough to say, listen, I'm not going down that road again. You escape. You made a narrow escape. And I've met women who tell me that their husband used to take off their belt and spank them like children. And after you get out of that, you find yourself in that again. What is wrong with you? Not what's wrong with these men. Now I'm going to give you a story about a man I met when I was a single person. And we're talking about 6 years of being single, never going out on a single date. I met this guy, and the guy started telling me, it was an okay person. It was, a professional and a person who someone could consider as a potential mate. He had all the things that sometimes women say. He has a good job. He's ambitious. If you're into looks, he has, good looks and all that stuff. But that's never enough for me. That wasn't enough for me because of my history. I couldn't afford just to take up persons based on some superficial qualities. I needed to get deep. And I'd already told the universe what I was looking for. And it wasn't about a person's face. It was about their character. Somebody who's kind and loving and, patient and, honest and all of that. Those are the things that I was looking for. And so when I started meeting people, this particular guy, I met him on an airline sitting beside me. And the hostess thought that we were a family. So she referred to him as my husband. And I was like, no, this is not my husband. Nevertheless, we talked and exchanged information. I gave him my email at the time. And to this day, I still was, thinking at the time and still thinking now that, my phone number is very important, a very sacred thing. And I have to trust you to give you my phone number. So I exchanged email with this person. So we started corresponding through email. I was actually giving him links to people because he was a recruiter for a big company. And so, we connected on that level. And he started telling me that he liked me, started calling me all the time and talking to me about my virtues, which I don't know what virtues he could see or know about me because we barely knew each other. And he started talking about marriage because, any man that meets me knows that I can't be his concubine. He knows from the very beginning that I'm not playing that game. And so, he picked up on that. And so I said, okay, let's see who you are. I wrote a letter with a letterhead from a mental institution. And in this letter, I said that I was representing my client and the client would be me. And that there's a section in the code that says if a person of sound mind tries to deceive a person of unsound mind, that there is a clause that person could go to prison. So here he gets this letter from a supposedly mental institution saying that the person that he's trying to date and making promises to is not too right in the head. Remember, we met on a plane. He seen me in my suit, going on a business venture. I was speaking at a conference, and he was going to do the same. So we're traveling on a business class trip. So you look at me, you're having conversations with me in that time when you met me on the plane and at this conference, and communication afterwards using my company's email. So you know I have a job. And you keep telling me that I'm intelligent. And I send this letter to him. Well, what the guy did was he called a witness, because in the letter it says that he must tell me he is not really interested in marrying me, because this is what the thing is. He was telling me in real life he wanted to marry me. And so he called someone to be his witness, and he called me on the phone, and he was saying that I don't want to marry you. I will never marry you. And he's saying it slowly because he wants to make sure he reinforce that point, because he gets this letter from this mental institution saying that you're going to be charged if you don't tell the woman the truth. And so as he's telling me, I realize he has someone listening, like a three-way call. And so I said to him, well, who is going to eat the pum pum? What's going to happen to me now? Because I want to embarrass him, because I know what he's trying to do. And the person on the three-way giggled, and he hung up the phone really fast, because he's not expecting that. He's expecting to just tell me I don't want to marry you, get his witness to hear it, and then come off the phone. But I switched the script on him, and I start crying and saying, well, who's going to eat the pum pum? Because guess what now? I want his friend to think that he's actually eating the pumps of a mad woman. And so he calls me back, and he starts to say, I don't want you. I would never want you. You know, why is this woman doing these things to me? Why are you telling people that you're with me like that? I said, well, I'm getting married. I sent out all the invitation letters. We're getting married on Valentine's Day, which was like 2 days later. And he lost it, and he started cussing. It's like, this mad woman, you better call the people and tell them not to show up at the wedding. I won't be there. So I said, well, you have to tell the people, because I'm not going to embarrass myself. He says, give me the phone number. And I gave him the phone number of all my friends. And he called up my friends, and he said, this mad woman, I've never even gone close to this mad woman. I don't even know her like that. I never ever told her I was going to marry her. Please don't show up for the wedding. And he's calling them one by one. And, thank goodness for the friends that I had. They could keep a straight face. And when he calls me back and he says, I'm not marrying you. And all I kept saying was like, who's going to eat the pumps now? He's like, get someone else to eat it. Anyway, I listened to him while he was going off, and he was saying all these things. And it's like, this mad woman, I don't know why the government doesn't come and take your kids. Remember, met me in my suit, met me on a business trip, asked me to do favors for him, get him clients, ask him to write a letter for his sister who is a nurse, who is going through some situation, and I'm helping her with her legal case. And he forgot all of that, because suddenly he got a letter that was written by me. Ladies, you got to do your investigation. You got to not just be so available to these men. Some of you women act like you can't keep your legs closed, that you can't be without some wood burning in your fireplace. You make these decisions over and over again. I know stories of women who get marry someone from Jamaica, bring the person up, and as soon as they come, man bring woman into their bed, cheat on them, and they have to split their house, sell their things, and give him half. And he knows nothing about how she earned that. And after that happens to her, she goes back to Jamaica again, and she bring up her next one, and she goes through this cycle. And you say these men are no good. It's not about them not being good. It's about you making these terrible choices, and that nature continue to draw the same kind of people to you because you're not learning. And as a woman, I just don't understand a man saying, I don't love you. I don't want you. not just with his words, but with his action. And you continue to run behind this person, run behind this person. Listen, when it comes to counseling, I am here for person. I'm very good at listening. But when I see you are self-destructive and that you're the type of person who wants to hear what you want to hear to continue in that destruction, I'm going to give it to you. And more than likely, you're going to turn away from me and you're going to be angry with me. But I'd rather you be angry with me because I told you the truth than I allow you to stay in that stagnant place. There are people who are going through stuff and I'm very patient with them because they're going through struggles that are beyond their control. But when it comes to men, I'm not very patient. You know, I've been there and I understand women who are married 15, 20 years and your husband violates you in the worst way. Like a story that I see with a young lady that is referred to as a lyric. I'm patient with her. I understand her situation. Just to be married to somebody, especially when these persons claim that they're spiritual or religious. And you expect a certain behavior from these ones. And then when they prove to you that they're liars, it hurts. And so it will take a little time for you to move on from that. But after you've moved on from that, I don't expect to see you go back into that same vicious cycle. You have to first love yourself, women. You know, and a lot of you women are so selfish and so self-involved. No wonder you attract these kind of negative men to you because the man is married. He has a family. 12 years, 13 years together with that person. And now you're involved with him. You're the side chick. And at some point in your mind, you thought you were going to become the main chick. And when he starts doing to you what he has always done to his wife, you're calling people to say he's wicked. How could he do this to you? How could you do that to the lady, the other woman? How could you do that to her children? You expect him to set them aside and for her to cope with that, okay, and you get him and embrace him as your husband. Well, it's not going to happen. If you love people, man, if you love married man, and you like to get involved with these men and you tell yourself that what you carry between your thighs is so special. Listen, I don't care if YouTube want to demonetize this video because YouTube don't pay me. So, and I'm so grateful for that because when you're getting paid, you get censored. You're afraid to speak your mind. And that's why a lot of these ones out here, I'm speaking a lot of things in this video. A lot of these people out here on social media, you know, when they think that they can, you know, walk the line and say the things that they're ordained to say to make money, they are the worst enemy. Watch out for these social media personality that you see out here that is motivated by money. They're wicked. They will sell you out and they will send you down some road that are dangerous. I'm going to wrap this up right now. Women, have some self-esteem, some self-respect, and we'll talk about the men in another story. Stay blessed.